Hello.
All right, coming up on this episode of Sound Culture, Brendon and I are going to be talking about the Postal Service, not the U.S. government, the band.
Yeah, that's right. And it's their only album, Give Up.
So you better listen to it, because otherwise you'll never hear from them again.
Check it out. Hello.
All right, we're back for another episode of Sound Culture, the show where we give you recommendations on albums to listen to. I'm Tim.
I'm Brendon.
Today we're talking about...
Postal Service, Give Up.
Yeah, there's one and only album from 2003, and it's a really, really good album.
Yeah, if you're not familiar with who the Postal Service are, it's basically the electronic version of Death Cab For Cutie. I mean, Ben Gibbard is the main guy, and you can hear some of his influences in this, but it's also another guy, Jimmy Tamborello, I believe.
Yeah.
And then one thing that's really cool about this is it features some female vocalists. in
Jenny Lewis.
Yeah, Jenny.
She's the backing vocalist on a fair number of the tracks. So you got some really great singles like Such Great Heights and We'll Become Silhouettes and The District Sleeps Alone Tonight, and there's a fourth one that I can't remember.
Yeah, but they're all good though.
Yeah,
and this album has a lot of, again, universal appeal. It's something that most people can enjoy because it's like easy on the ears. It's got a little bit of synth in it, a little bit of pop, but it's just really interesting.
Well,
and easy to song down.
And Ben's voice is very like easy listening.
Yeah, like alternative or like the origin of indie.
Yeah.
So
some of the things that I learned while I was researching this album that I didn't realize at the time was that there were a lot of efforts made to actually work on a second album. Unfortunately, though, because of scheduling conflicts and different projects.
Yeah, they're all really busy guys when you think about it.
Yeah. They had lots of reasons to not get together. Not because they didn't want to, but it never seemed to line up properly. But fortunately, there was one final get-together tour that they did in 2013.
And they were just like, that's it, guys. Sorry, we're done.
Yeah, so they released a deluxe edition of the album at that time and added a couple extra tracks.
And on their vinyl, too, they had a whole side of B tracks. And some of them were just different versions of the original ones. But at least that was something. I mean, because I thought they did really well.
Yeah, but the other thing that I didn't know about, and Brendon's going to talk about it, but there's another big controversy surrounding this band.
Yeah, absolutely. The U.S. Postal Service apparently issued them a cease and desist. And what did they say? They said that they were citing the tarnishing and diluting of their trademark name by using the name the Postal Service, even though it doesn't say U.S. Postal Service.
No, just
Postal Service. So can you imagine getting hit by a lawsuit by the U.S. Postal Service being like, you better cease and desist. We know what you're up to.
Yeah.
That's just kind of funny.
So in their negotiations with the Postal Service, the band The Postal Service had to promote the U.S. Postal Service
and sell some of their records too.
Yeah, and then on the other side, the band had their records sold too. So there was a bit of it was a mutual.
Yeah, it wasn't really like winner and loser sort of deal, but still, it just seemed kind of funny.
Like that said, if you really like their stuff, you should definitely listen to some Human League or David Bowie, Pet Shop Boys.
Yeah, and I mean Death Cab For Cutie, they're a different style, but if you like Ben Gibbard, you'll probably like some of the older Death Cab at least.
Depeche Mode was in one of the things that I heard in there. Gary Newman. So lots of 80s pop.
Oh yeah, totally. And I really like how they have male and female vocals in it too. I feel like they balance it really, really well.
It sounds really good. And on top of that, it's like, I don't know, what is it? Is it the bass, or it uses electronic influence, but like it's got a strong bass line.
Yeah, like the low bass line synth, I think, is what's using. I know exactly what you're talking about. Like
they
right
run
off
that all the way through the whole album.
Yeah, but they do a good job. It's not like too intrusive, and it's not too much. It's not too electronic-y for people who aren't really into EDM music and stuff like that. But
when we're in our 50s, and because soft rock isn't really a thing that we have now. Like that was when our parents were in our age group. that's what's going to be playing is this kind of music.
Yeah. Back in my day, we listened to good music.
It'll be this.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that said, I think you should listen to this album. It's a really good one, and it's like I said, there's only one of it. So.
Yeah, it's a real gem. Check it out.
And this has been Sound Culture.
Yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yep, and share the video with your friends because we want to get more people listening to our album reviews. These are not just, your mainstream stuff. These are like classic albums.
We want more people listening to more music.
Yes, and the Postal Service definitely is worth your attention. So,
All right,
check it
thanks
out.
for watching.
Thanks for watching.
But I really like Fog John Misty too.
I had
And
all
the
that.
Playful
I specifically put that there. I was like, look at all these great bands that are on this label.
Sub Pop is actually quite an awesome label.
Yeah. Oh well.
It was like the indie label back when this was out, early 2000s, man.
Yeah. That's okay.
Yeah, what can you do?